very good morning and welcome to today's webcast, Beyond Bookings, Mastering Revenue and Performance with Rentals United. Today we're going to dive into the world of revenue optimization for holiday accommodation. So if you are a bookings or revenue professional or an ops lead looking to increase your bookings and your profitability, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're joined by the experts from Rentals United, the industry's leading channel manager, to discuss how real-time data, pricing intelligence and automated distribution can help businesses like yours make data-driven decisions that maximize your occupancy and your revenue. I am joined this morning with John. Good morning, John. How are we doing today?
Yeah, not so bad, Callum. Good to see you again. But yeah, looking forward to today's chat.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great to hear. Before we get into the webcast today, please be aware that if you do want to submit any questions, you can do that through the Q&A functionality at the top of your Teams call. All you need to do is pop your questions in there, or if you would like to join us at the end of the webcast, you can come on live and ask your question directly to John and myself. All you need to do for that is just raise your hand and we'll give you your permissions and bring you straight on to the webcast. Please be aware that if you are choosing to do that, you are consenting to being recorded, as this webcast is being recorded. So your mic and your camera will be recorded there as well. So just to give you a quick overview of what to expect today, we're going to be discussing the challenges faced by parks and marinas who offer holiday bookings, that ever-changing booking trend and how we can overcome them. John is going to be taking us through how Rentals United can assist you to reach your occupancy and revenue goals before we're going to end off today's session with that Q&A. So to kick things off, let's talk about those challenges first of all, John. With so many channels and unpredictable booking trends, why is effective distribution more important than ever?
So quite importantly, the market has evolved like significantly in the past couple of years. I don't just speak for myself. Like typically when I go to book something, even I booked a holiday last week, I'm looking at multiple platforms, looking at different locations, etc. I think it's important to have distribution and visibility upon multiple platforms. Okay, so you need to have this visibility in order to either harness the marketing, bringing people back to your own website, or getting the guest to book directly through these other distribution channels.
Fantastic. So obviously you're saying you're like shopping around and stuff. So the price of accommodation is, generally speaking, a deciding factor for most customers when it comes to going through with the actual booking. Now, we know that has a bit of an impact with businesses who use OTAs as an additional revenue stream for booking. Most of the OTAs actually insist that the customer's facing price is the same price as the business will be selling directly at. And the commission payments are sort of taken in between that, which leaves the operator effectively financially short on what they were looking for. So while they might be getting additional occupancy one, the revenue side sometimes falls short of the expectation of what they're looking for. Where do you think rentals falls into that to help?
So we've actually inbuilt a scaling tool like within the platform. So when you begin the connection process to the channel, for example, Airbnb or Booking.com, we can create like a uplift, okay, to offset that commission cost, okay? So at the end of the day, you can have consistency across all the channels that you're connected to, and you can modify this at any time as well. So if you're seeing this maybe across like a certain property, you can basically, if you've got lower occupancy on one of the properties, you can reduce the scaling to drive up that occupancy, or vice versa. Okay, so again, you can have consistency across the all channels, but typically I've seen the majority of like elite clients typically apply a 15% commission to account for the cost of the commission that the channel charges.
Yeah, right. And I think that is really important that they've got the flexibility to be able to do that. Obviously, we know, I think a lot of our customers currently that use rentals are park based. How does it look for marinas? I'm assuming if they are renting boats and yachts and things like that, they can do that through those channels as well.
Yeah, so we can accommodate kind of any, as long as it's static, it's not moving, and there's like a fixed address, then we can support any connection for the
Fantastic.
channels on that.
Perfect. So just to give you a little overview of what to expect on what John's going to be showing us today, we're going to be looking at how we can discover that growth generating channel, connect to 90 plus leading channels, putting you really at the forefront of distribution, getting those real-time insights into KPIs for your revenue ops, and identifying occupancy trends and booking patterns, and streamlining that channel management. So just going through one sort of point of the source of the truth on that. So I think at this point, John, I am going to step back. I'm going to let you take it away, walk us through what Rentals United can do for our customers and prospects. So I will hand over to you now, John.
Perfect. Thank you, Callum. Okay. Just to confirm, you can see my screen, yep?
We sure can.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, first off, I just want to thank everyone in attendance today. I understand like managing properties is time consuming, and so yeah, just firstly, thank you for taking a little bit of time out today in your busy schedule. Okay. So just to give you a bit of an overview of my role at Rentals United. So I work in the sales team and I work directly with Elite Dynamics clients that are looking to connect to Rentals United. Okay. So that means account configuration, means setting up the accounts, it means uploading the properties, etc. And yeah, today I'm just going to be talking a couple of different ways in which we can harness these distribution channels to drive up your revenue and performance. Okay, so yeah, so first I'm just going to give a bit of an intro to Rentals United. So we are one of the leading channel managers in the world. We've been operational for 10 years plus, so that comes with wealth of knowledge, a clear understanding of the channel connections, a clear understanding of how the markets are operating. And yeah, and in regards to the channel connections, so we've got around about 90 different channels. First and foremost, the ones that typically Elite working with us on is Airbnb and Booking.com. This generally are the top performing channels worldwide, okay? But it's not to say that we just want you on these channels. We'd also be recommending niche channels, channels that really complement your portfolio, whether that be in the marina, whether that be cottages, lodges. We can cater to any type of portfolio, okay? But yeah, just to highlight, I'd say on average, our clients are connected to around about 6 to 8 channels in total. Okay, so just moving on. Just one moment. So just to give it a bit of a breakdown on Rentals United side, okay? So we a little bit of data. So in terms of like the number of properties that we're connected with, we've got around about 240,000. Okay, number of bookings is 1.6, and overall revenue generated is at 1.158 billion. Okay, so I'm not just showing off with these numbers. We put these in here just to really show how much of a where we stand within the vacation rental market. Okay, so we are a key contributor to the overall performance of these channels within the UK, which I will get into a little bit later. Okay, so just moving on in regards to how actual clients find your properties. Okay, so we can kind of break it down into two aspects. Okay, firstly, it would be through Google. They find your property directly, are redirected to your website. And then secondly is through an OTA. Okay, so as you're probably aware, you search on Airbnb for a certain location, and then you've got a drop-down list of top locations. Okay, so that's where we come in. So we work directly with Booking.com, Airbnb to get you on these channels, get you ranked highly, and get you generating more bookings. Okay, so it's not to say that we don't want you to have your own website. We want to complement your own direct bookings with distribution streams through different channels. Okay, so we understand that at the end of the day, you prefer to get a direct booking, but you might be limiting the visibility, the marketing, if you're not actually working with these channels. Okay, so I'm just going to break down into like a little bit of data on where reservations come from. Okay, so 64% of all reservation bookings are coming from OTAs. Okay, so what does that mean for you if you're not on them? So potentially it might mean that you're missing out on generating bookings. Typically, and like I mentioned a little bit earlier on, I find the property, when I'm searching for a holiday, I find the property on the OTA, and then I go and book directly on the website, because typically you'll find that it is cheaper to book direct, but also it's a great marketing tool. Okay, so just moving on there. So just a little bit of background on Elite Dynamics and Rentals United. So we've been working together for around about 4 years. They are the largest PMS partner that we've got in the UK. I've been working with them for around about 2 years now, and we've kind of gone from strength to strength. Okay? So we've seen a 255% growth in the number of units connected. And we've seen the increase in booking value by 28% in 2024. Okay, so I think that really just speaks volumes, really, because not only are we getting your clients onto Rentals United and getting them connected, but we're also seeing growth within that. Okay, and I think that's down to the relationship that we do have with Elite. Okay, so I've got to give a shout out to the tech team, Chris, and the account managers, because they make the transition as smooth as possible. We have a point of contact during the entire integration process. And yeah, I think actually looking back, like historically, we've not actually had any of their clients leave us since I've been working at Rentals United. So yeah, it's really strong partnership that we've got with Elite. And just moving on. So I just want to jump into UK channel performance. As I mentioned a bit earlier, the top performing channels are Booking.com, Airbnb. Here's a little bit of information about typical average booking value and the number of reservations that were generated in the past year. Okay, so we can see Booking.com, I think from knowledge, takes in around about 45% of the overall bookings across the UK, followed by Airbnb and VRBO. These channels we do have preferred partnerships with, okay? Meaning that we do have exclusive benefits that you can harness when working with Rentals United on this channel, okay? So what do I mean by that? So for example, reviews. Okay, so we have an in-house review system for Airbnb and Booking.com that allows you to respond directly to reviews, meaning that you don't need to jump into the extranet of Booking.com to respond to a review. Okay, so what can this lead to? So this can lead to a higher response rate. Okay, meaning that better reviews and potentially leading to better ranking. Okay, because at the end of the day, what we want to see is the number of reservations increasing. And how do we do that? By offering a like a reduced response rate, okay, etc. So just to highlight as well, we do have an in-house communication tool which can facilitate templates, instant communication with these channels as well. Again, reducing that response rate down. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so in regards to mastering like revenue and performance, so when you're working with Rentals United, okay, so you're going to be working with member of the customer success team, account management team, key account management team, and the support team. Okay, so we built up a wealth of knowledge in the past 10 years. Okay, that can be directly applied to your properties. Okay, so you might find that the account managers we'll be looking at ways to optimize the properties, looking at market trends, looking at existing data from our clients that they found successful that can be applied to your properties in your account. Okay, so they'll be looking at ways to maximize the revenue through connectivity features. So for example, that might be looking at multi-rates through booking.com. Okay, that might be looking at mobile rates through Airbnb. Okay, what we want you to do as well is stay in control of the rates. As Callum and I mentioned a little bit earlier, pricing is super important, and I think providing like automatic updates to pricing that you can manage in real time and have consistency across the channels is super important. And yeah, just to highlight the customer service team again, so they've got a wealth of knowledge. Okay, so they'll be working with you to optimize the properties, looking at best ways to improve your ranking, and the best way to get the most out of the channel itself. Okay, because the information that they get from booking.com through webinars and through workshops that we have annually with them, they can provide real insight into how to improve your overall performance within that channel. Okay, so just moving on. Okay, so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, booking.com is one of the best performing channels within the UK. So typically it's the first channel that our clients tend to connect to. Okay, as I mentioned, we provide a multi-rate, okay, with booking.com, which means not only, so from like a technical perspective, the pricing is sent over from Elite Dynamics to Rentals United, and that's then distributed to the channels. Okay, but within that and the booking.com connection that we have, we can create multi-rates that allow you to firstly create a geographical rate. So if you want to target certain customers within America, you can do that directly on the platform. Okay, if you want to create a last minute rate, a weekend rate, you can do that within the platform. Okay, so really enhancing your distribution channels and the amount of availability, the amount of different pricing points that your clients can select from. Okay, so not only that, like I mentioned with the mobile rate, so mobile rates are over 50%. Over 50% of bookings on booking.com are created on a mobile. Okay, so you can create these type of rates to really impact these kind of users. Okay, so our research shows as well that clients with multi-rates on booking.com are generating around about 20% of more revenue. Okay, so that's like quite a large figure in comparison to the people that aren't using it. So it's definitely something that we would recommend, and something that I personally should advise all customers to be using. Okay, so again, what do the multi-rates lead to? So increased occupancy, increased revenue, increased reviews, increased ranking. Okay, all this is kind of leading towards better performance. Okay, so moving on, with Airbnb, in a similar sense to booking.com, you can create multi-rate strategies. So that's last minute deals, weekend pricing, etc. In regards to like your reviews as well and how important that is, again, this would be highlighted through our customer support team. Like reviews are super important because, like you can see here, 65% of the total bookings were taken from 5-star reviews. Okay, so as I mentioned with the communication tool, if we've got a high response rate to questions, queries, etc., high response rate to reviews, that's going to lead to better reviews and potentially more bookings. Okay, so in regards to clients that don't have like any previous history with Airbnb, we advise them to list the property as a new listing promotion, and this can potentially lead to speeding up the bookings by 20%. Okay, so in regards to The pricing, we can automate the pricing, reservations, and communication directly on Rentals United. Okay, so as I mentioned with the communication tool, we can actually set templates where you can create your own workflow from the moment that the client makes the reservation up until they've left. Okay, so again, there is a lot of flexibility with these two channels. Okay, so we can create a non-refundable option. There are around about 6 different options between Airbnb and Booking.com that offer payouts that can closely align with your typical payout. Okay, so it's not as if you're going to be working with these channels and they only offer a 100% cancellation rate. Okay, typically I found that clients can find their own payout rules closely aligned with their own. Okay, so just moving on. So in regards to like Rentals United and how we can help you grow. So as you've seen with elite clients, we've seen like year-on-year growth. I think the scaling process for Rentals United is super straightforward. Okay, so we can, and some clients do choose to do this. They'll start with just a handful of properties and then gradually grow their portfolio on Rentals United once they've trialed a couple of the units just to see how it is, what it looks like, what the performance is like. Okay, so you're in control. Okay, and we will give you the tools that you need in order to increase the occupancy, to drive your reservations. You'll be given support during the entire integration process. Okay, so moving on with Rentals United as well. So you can choose on how you want to be working with these channels. There is flexibility when it comes to getting connected. Okay, so it's not to say that you have to be working the way that Booking.com works. You can be working on a request basis. For example, you can create a vetting procedure to ensure that the guests are safe. Okay, and this can be done directly on Airbnb and Booking.com. You can set, for example, a minimum of a 5-star client that you only want to receive bookings from. Okay, these can be set up during the onboarding process. So you have got flexibility when it comes to choosing which channels you want to be working with and which guests you want to be accepting. Okay, so and in regards to like the other channels that we offer, so not only do we cater towards like Airbnb and Booking.com, but like we mentioned earlier, we've got around about 90 different booking channels, ranging from your niche, your cottages, housing, villas, etc. We can accommodate pretty much any type of portfolio. Okay. And in regards to like your like data insights and strategic coaching, so during the sign up process, you'll be working like with myself. I'll be giving you the account configuration kind of side of things, but following that, you would be given a point of contact in the onboarding or key account management that will be looking at your data, looking at ways to improve, looking at the market data, looking at its overall performance and optimization. So it's not to say that you jump onto Rentals United, we get you connected, and then that's it. Okay, it's not the case. We want to see the account healthy. You're going to have like a point of contact that will be there to support you. Okay, there to help you drive the revenue and overall performance of the channels and the properties. Okay. I think that moves on to the Q&A. Does anyone have any questions?
Fantastic stuff there, John. Thank you very much for taking us through that. Don't forget, if you do have those questions, you can submit them through the Q&A functionality at the top of your Teams call. You can do that for us just whilst we are just going to take a couple of questions that we have ready for you, John. So just very quickly, what would you say is the one thing that operators should look to do to start increasing that booking revenue?
So in regards to that, so firstly, it's looking at distribution streams, distribution channels. Okay, I think the greater visibility that you've got within these platforms, like we mentioned earlier, it might not lead to a booking within that channel, but it actually might redirect that client back to your own website. Okay, I think distribution first and foremost. Secondly, I would then no, I think distribution is the kind of key factor in that.
Fantastic. If you had to sum up the biggest advantage of Rentals United in one sentence, what would you say?
Make bookings easier through automated processes.
Perfect. That's all we want, though, isn't it? Making our lives a little bit easier as we're going through. Don't have we've got no questions submitted. So you've obviously done a very good job there, John, that you've answered everyone's questions. If you are interested in Rentals United for our customers that are already Elite Dynamics customers, you can reach out to the account managers and they'll be able to make that introduction for you directly, or you can reach out to the team at Rentals. We'll let them know that you are here anyway so that they can reach out and have a chat. Excuse me. But that'll be us for today. So fantastic. Thank you very much for everyone that has joined us today. Thank you, John, and the team at Rentals United for taking part. Just to take a quick look at what's coming up in the very near future, on the 9th of April at 11 o'clock GMT, that's very important now we're international, we'll be joined by our product manager, Lisa Alexander, who'll be talking to us about yield management and how to get the best results from our solutions to help you increase your booking revenue with a mix of techniques to put you on the best footing. And at the end of the month, 23rd of April, again, 11 a.m. GMT, Lisa will be back to talk through all things My Elite. That is our app for your customers to interact with your business. But as I said, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Thank you to you, John, as always. And we will see you all again in the very near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.